Your mindset is the most powerful tool you have available to you. Mark 11:24 says, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be given to you. That means you have the power to change your circumstances just by believing that God will do it for you. And it kind of reminds me of the movie Space Jam. And I'm talking about the old school Space Jam, not that garbage that they produced recently. No offense to LeBron James. But in the original Space Jam, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it, they are in this basketball duel, right? And they are getting their booties whipped. So at halftime, they all go back to the locker room. You remember what happens next? Bugs Bunny takes a regular old bottle of water and writes secret stuff on it. And they convince the other players that if they drink this secret stuff, that they'll be unstoppable. So they all drink it. They're convinced that they have this secret power, and they go out to win the game. The thing is, nothing changed. Their circumstances did not change. Their mindset did. Because they shifted from believing it was hopeless to believing they could win. Now, before I get some religious people in my comment section saying, that's manifestation, that's witchcraft. No, that's not what I'm talking about. Manifestation is a twisted copycat of a biblical principle. Satan can't create anything new, but what he can do is infuse it with your selfish motives. So if you take a biblical principle, remove God from it, and put yourself in God's place, yes, you have manifestation. I'm not talking about doing it for selfish reasons. I'm talking about partnering with God to renew your mind. And that's biblical. Because renewing your mind is all about aligning yourself and your flesh with God's will. That means that you can go from feeling like your situation is hopeless to feeling like you're unstoppable with a quick shift of the mind. That doesn't mean your circumstances will change right away, but it means that it will be for sure easier to keep going. Think about the Israelites in the wilderness. When the 12 spies went out and they were told to go survey the land, only 2 came back with a positive report. Joshua and Caleb were the only ones who believed that God could get them there. So guess what? They are the only ones that God took there. If you believe that God can make your life incredible, guess what? He's going to make your life incredible. God is only limited by the limits we put on him, because he's not a forceful God. He will not barge his way into your life and cram good things down your throat. You have to believe him for them. So if you keep going around saying, this is hopeless, it'll never work out, bad things always happen to me, you're going to get exactly what you're asking for. But if you shift your mindset and you start believing God for the big things, well, just watch what happens. And if you're one of those people that says, well, I don't even know if God wants good things for me because I don't even know if he really likes me that much, you're the exact person that I wrote this book for. This is my book, 7 Days to a Life of Limitless: How to Ditch the Rules of Religion and Discover Unrestricted Freedom. When God first woke me up from my spiritual slumber, let's call it, he shifted everything that I thought I knew about him. And I put it all in this book. I used to think that he was super judgmental. Turns out he's super gracious and merciful. I used to think that he looked at me as a dirty, dirty sinner. Turns out he looks at me as royalty. He changed my mind about so many things that I misunderstood about him. And I want to share those things with you. Of course, I do have a ton of videos on my page that includes a lot of this information. But if you want it quick, concise, all in one place, this may be a good resource for you. And I also wrote a journal that complements it. This is Go Ask God the Journal. It's 120 question prompts where you ask God questions, journal your answers down below, and you just practice hearing his voice a little more. So if you think that these things would be beneficial to your spiritual walk, you can find both of them on TikTok Shop, on Amazon, or at yourfriendcaitlin.com.